Good morning, Ravi, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Um, Ravi, we all read your bio. We have it, but a bio doesn't give, a sense of the journey. So if we start with that, and then we can open it up for a dialogue.
So my family is a reject from Pakistan. We're classic immigrants left on a boat in 1947. No background in real estate. My father started the business, and my brother and me have been running it independently for the last 25 years under my father's guidance. And yeah, so someone asked me to define my business. It's a very simple business. I'm a tap dancer, but on a minefield. So business in India is like tap dancing on a minefield. Something will go wrong. I don't know when, I don't know why, but something will happen.
Something will go wrong.
That's my business.
So, what did you study?
I studied, I would like to say I went to college, but I got a degree of Bachelor of Commerce from Sydenham College. Now there's a statute of limitation, so I can say that. So yeah, I did my commerce bachelor's in India, and then I did my master's in London Business School. And yeah, but I think
So when after that you started with the family business right away?
no, I started with a family business after the 10th standard. That's why I said I got a degree. I didn't attend college. So I think at that time it was very common. You just passed out of your 10th grade and you went to office. And at 16, I was going to office. I wasn't learning much. I don't think I was contributing anything. But I think it found me, it showed me my calling. And I enjoyed what I was doing. And I just pursued it all through. We were basically a home builder for the first few years of our career. But for the last 25 years, we've actually shifted from home building to commercial. And offices, hotels, and malls contribute 85% of what we build.
Mhm.
And we're probably the only developer in the country who's not sold 85% of what we built in the last 23 years. So it's a very different model from what is conventionally done in India. And I must tell you that I think exposure to the Western world, seeing what we saw in the world, uh, has helped our journey a lot. So
In what way?
uh, I think the first thing we realize is we don't know. I think the minute you are somewhat successful early in your career, you start reinforcing I know. And by seeing the world, we realize we don't know. And I think the other thing we realize is we have to constantly learn. So we've constantly evolved. So we're probably the first guys who went down the leasing model. India did not have a leasing model.
Uh-huh.
We were the first guys who gave a hotel management contract to Marriott. It was very unconventional in India to give you hotels on management because Indian owners like to hold the assets very tight. We were the first guys to follow a rental model for malls. And 15 years ago, we took a decision to go exclusively green. And we followed this lead gold and lead platinum. So we've taken different journeys, and I would say our customers and I think the whole team's willingness to listen has contributed to this journey. And I think I cannot thank the team enough for it because you know the team has played a very, very major part in this whole journey.
So, you say I thank the team, but presumably you shape the team.
Yeah, I kind of like to say I do, but the amount they challenge me, sometimes I have to remind them.
Are you talking about your children or the team now?
Oh, children don't listen to me. That's easy. That's an easy one. That's easy to brush off.
So tell us a little bit how you go after talent. What kind of talent do you look for?
It's interesting. I was telling Shiv on the way back. I said I think the biggest thing we look for is hunger and the hunger to learn. And people who have encountered challenges in their life, we actually get very intimidated by a perfect resume because we think challenges make people grow, challenges make people learn, and challenges make people realize that, hey, you know, there is no cookie cutter. So that's really what we look for people. We've actually followed a very interesting thing in India because uh, now when we're shortlisting resumes, we actually remove the name of the person. So we remove all biases because we found there's a lot of bias on gender,
Absolutely.
on religion. In India, we have a lot of biases on caste. So we have actually taken a quite a proactive thing, and it's quite a journey. I can tell you that the shortlisting process of talent is a very important thing. And
Yeah. So you look for people who face challenges, not perfect. Listen, for those who are applying to Northeastern, we have some. If your dossier is perfect, Sundar, who is here today, would not accept you. So let me ask you something. I am part of your organization.
Mm.
It's a family business.
Mm.
What is my prospect? I mean, can I go far? How far can I go with you?
So it's interesting. As a family business, we are never chairman of our own companies.
Uh-huh.
In each and every company of ours, we've always followed the rule of an external chairman. We've also followed the rule of an external CEO. We've also followed the rule that the family will be a minority on the board independent of our shareholding. Whether we are 100 or whatever we are, we will be minority on the board. So the whole object is we follow the principle that if you cannot eliminate us from what we are doing today, you're not contributing. So it is a very, you have to have the ability to challenge and push me out, because I don't want to do what I'm doing today. I want to do something different in 5 years. And the only way I can do something different is the existing people take what I'm doing now. And I think I'll tell you that it's far more challenging for people who've been in the organization long to push us out than for new people. Because new people are comfortable with this interaction. I said, okay, but people have been in the organization, but you let go. I'm like, yeah, I'm dying to let go. So effectively, we're encouraging each of our companies not to sit in the building they started. Like, please move out. We don't want you here.
So if I'm one of your children and I want to be part, because I mentioned to you that many global leaders here are part of family businesses. Some of them want to push their parents out immediately. We tell them, take maybe a year or two, and that will be okay. And then they realize that a year or two can go for extend for 10 years. So what do I have an opportunity to work for you if I'm your son or your daughter?
I would tell you that if you are a competent person and you can get a job outside and you work outside, you then and only then have an opportunity to work into this company. The right of birth gives you an opportunity to be a shareholder. But I'd rather you just be a shareholder and not destroy the company, because that's fine, earn the dividends. But I think we've seen that in our business, because I don't think, of course, seeing that my dad, I would have never got a job outside. So that I'm very thankful to my dad.
I was going there. But you were ahead of me.
So I think that's what we've learned. I think we're very scared of patriarchy, and because there is a gender bias in India too. So I think all these biases, we think, limit the ability to get good talent. And I think that's really something we're quite passionate about. And, we work towards it. I don't think we take it for granted. And by the way, I don't even presume my children want to come in. That's itself a presumption. The last thing I would want to do is tell my children, you have to come in, get involved in the business, and they run it to the ground because they think it's not their passion.
Yeah, it's not their passion. So let's talk about sustainability. You chose to go green. Why?
So the correct answer is I chose to grow green because I saw the world going green and I saw my customers talking about green. And what we did, which was very interesting, is we went green and we did not charge our customers more. We said everything everywhere. So the conventional wisdom is when you go green for green building, it's going to cost you more. The way we did it is it's like a conveyor belt for us. We said, no, everything goes green. Green is not the exception, it's the rule. It actually did not cost us more. And it's for the last 15 years, we've completed 25 million square feet of green buildings. And our customers have liked it. And now it's not even a point of discussion. That's just the standard which you do. The other funny part is in India, we are short of water, we're short of electricity, we're short of sewage. So you might as well go green and use less of the above. Show me one person who lives in India who says, oh, my water and electricity and sewage work well. Going green makes you save all three. Yeah.
And so we were talking a little bit, and we focused on sustainability and we focused on growth during our discussion. How are you marrying the two?
See, in India, if you open today's newspaper, it's doom and gloom. The country says we are in a full-blown recession and we are growing at 4.5%. So this is when you learn to step back and you open the FT and you say, America's booming, is growing at 1.5%. 4.5 is not too bad. So I think in India, the growth is there. It's a question of, I think in India, you have to pace yourself for a marathon. I think in India, you have to be conscious that in a weird way, what happened to China is a very good leading indicator. China liberalized around 20 years before us. In India, we are a democracy, so we have our own challenges of catching up to that pace. But we have seen the cost to the environment if you do growth without a sustainable thought process. So I can just tell you that right now, growth is there on the table. And whether you're looking at a national level, a state level, or a city level, each of the governments are discussing growth and they're discussing sustainability. They do not see the two as mutually exclusive. They're very conscious that a sustainable environment is what is going to ensure sustainable growth. And I think that is a very healthy thing. So whether it is green power, whether it is discussing sewage treatment plant or landfill sites or recycling material, electronic waste, it's a very engaging discussion with the government, because business and government, I think, is one of the few places that you can see there is an alignment of interest and people are saying, hey, let's make this work. The customers also, are far more conscious of it. And, every day in the newspaper, you have something called this air purity index and all that. So it matters.
So, for instance, for us in the United States, and more specifically at Northeastern, the whole campus is very green, and we did, and I have to tell you, the demand. Some students now applying to colleges want to see whether the college is green or not.
Wow.
So there is a real demand and a year earning for that at all levels, as you said. What about the customers? How do they feel about that? Because you had many firsts, and this is giving you, your firsts are giving you some differentiations. So is this a big factor for your customers? I want to be in a green environment.
So 15 years ago, when we went green, we actually had to apologize for going green. It was so out there. I remember going to a banker and telling him, I said, see, I've gone green, but I've not become a tree hugger. I still want to make profits. Okay. Because people thought that, oh, this guy has just suddenly gone off the cliff and now he wants to start hugging trees. I'm like, no, I still want to make profits, but it's good for business. And 15 years ago, I said, it was insane. I said, why do I have to apologize for going green? We had to be defensive about it. 15 years ago, when we went green, not a single customer would pay you a penny more for going green. You want to go green, you're going green for your sake. I don't need it. Today, it's not even conceivable to build a non-green building. I actually remember one customer telling us, it was a very interesting statement. He said, if you are so silly to make a non-green building, I don't know what other mistakes you've made.
Oh, that's interesting.
So it was just the standard. You just have to go green. It's not even conceivable now. So actually, in my mind, quite often, even when we are buying buildings now, it's just presumed we will do the retrofit and go green. So if anything, I would say, also I would like to clarify the definition of green has changed. What was acceptable as green 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, today has changed.
Could you expand on that?
So whether it is your energy efficiency, it has changed. Whether it is the way you treat sewage, the way you treat electronic waste, the amount of trees you plant, what are you doing for your neighborhood, what are you doing for health and safety, all of that has changed. So it's like, the amount of water you use, you're tracking how you treat. In India, it's really, I don't know if people are aware of it. In the city of Bombay, we actually have a lot of water given per citizen, but we don't recycle anything. So if you go to any of our projects, we're recycling all the water, but it's not even conceivable to put it in a glass like this and drink it, because like, it's recycled water.
It's recycled.
But the reality is it's recycled water in London and New York and in all other cities of the world. So we can use it for parking, we can use it for landscaping, for washing cars. So in India, it's a bit dusty. We wash our cars every day. We really wash our cars. It's not that we don't. They look dusty still, but but yeah. So we can use water for anything other than cooking and bathing.
So, given
the standards change.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's universal from this point of view. We're seeing the same thing. And you mentioned, for instance, when we look at something green, is the
green power,
the community. The community aspect, not only your building, but how you're impacting the community as a whole, etc. So in the next 5 years, how do you think it will change, the concept again?
I think this whole concept of, I think we'll have to get down to what is. So we are actually struggling right now to come up with a standardized measure. So we are following the US Green Building Council norms on how do you measure the amount of carbon or the amount of total waste you generate. So I think you'll actually follow one global norm and implement it here. And we have actually been the trial cases for almost every new initiative of the US GBC in India. But take green power. So what we'd like to do is that recycled material is a big thing in India. Everything is recycled. So we are actively engaging to get recycled material, get it certified for quality. You take green power. In our mind, most of our parks can go into green power. But since we are a commercial user and the government uses a cross-subsidy scheme and charges us double what they charge the farm, or not charge the residential users, we have actually sued the government to allow us to use green power. So you can see these things will happen. So I see green power, green water, redoing your sewage, electronic waste, tree planting, working with the environment. And I think I'm actually telling you I don't know, but I'm willing to listen. So whether it is listening to the people globally or listening to our customers, uh, I think that's the single biggest thing, because we need to listen to our customers, and not the JP Morgans or the Hong Kong banks or the Cognizants of the world, but the people working there.
Living there.
Yeah, so we have like 400,000 people who enter our facilities every day. If we just listen to them and we're sensitive to them, I think we will go a long way.
So whenever you were pioneering, you faced obstacles, but also sometimes you make mistakes because you're ahead of the market or ahead of the curve. So if you look back, what kind of, if there is something that say, look, this didn't go well, and those are the reasons, what would it be?
I think the single biggest mistake I would admit to making is we've kind of overestimated. We've been a bit optimistic on the government's implementation of plan infrastructure. And quite often when it fails, it's just doesn't work. Let's just write off the project, move on. I would say that's the single biggest mistake. I think we've made mistakes when we've been a bit too conservative on saying the market won't evolve as fast. But I think what we've currently concluded in all our businesses that the global standards and the Indian standards are not going to be different. And I think that's our single biggest learning. The mistakes are not listening to your customer enough, not listening to the government too much.
Got it. Yeah. So you said that you do yoga, you love to travel. Yeah. Where do you like to go?
Anywhere. So I love to travel. I like going towards nature. Being a developer, you see enough concrete.
So you go to nature.
So I love Africa. I like going up in the mountains. I like skiing. I love diving. Anything outdoorsy is good for me.
And you take your history books because you like to read history. Yeah. Why history, for instance?
I think history, whether it repeats itself or not, I think it teaches a lot of what not to do. And I think sometimes what to do, what not to do. And I think I'm happy to learn from other people's mistakes.
So that's a shortcut.
That's a shortcut. Like, okay, this guy was, So yeah, I would just say that I enjoy reading history, and it's a good disconnect from. Let me put it this way: if you take business in India too seriously, and you do it all the time, you're very likely to have a nervous breakdown. So either you drink every day or you read a book every day.
So